But this is a graphical representation of a 1958 Commissioner's Standard Ordinary mortality table. And in a crowd of this size, I'd say at least one person in here is probably muttering under his breath, I wonder why this clown is showing me ancient history. Don't they have a more modern mortality table? Yes. Correct. But this will help you think. And that's what this is all about. Now, in 1958, out of 1,000 born, 1,000 died. I don't know if 3 guys ever got in this world any other way. All the rest of us graduated. Now, by age 45, 10% had died. Now, back in those days, you notice out of the 900 still living, 1/4 died by age 65. Do you notice that practically all the dying got done past age 65? Now we're going to have to take a side trip here. Where did this dumb idea of age 65 come from, please? Do you know, actually, I've read the Bible through and through, and I can't find a thing in the world in there about Moses retiring and then happening thereafter. The word retirement does not appear in the vocabulary of human beings until 1890. Did you know that? Bismarck, Germany, socialist. The whole idea was to get them old guys out of the workforce, Wayne, to make room for the young guys. Because in the mindset of them, there's only so many jobs to go around. You see, socialists can't think at all. Bill Gates and Sam Walton would boggle his mind. He set age 65 as retirement age for German males in 1890. Mark, do you know what life expectancy for German males was in 1890?
In 1890, I think probably about an average is about age 67 or 68.
Oh, good Lord, no.
Yeah, 40,
less than 50.
40.
Yeah,
Was it less than
40,
50?
yeah.
That low? Even then? Okay.
Yeah, he said age 70 is retirement age. Odds are they'd never collect. All right, 1916 comes along. We're halfway in the World War I. Bismarck's dead. They reduced the retirement age to 65. Well, that's where Franklin D. Roosevelt got age 65 for retirement in the USA. Would you care to guess what life expectancy for American males was in 1937? Nope, 61. What is it now?
82, 83, 81.
Yeah, well, it's on up there. We'll say 79, 80 or thereabouts. And we're still talking about 65? Good Lord! There's no way. It's a screwball, crazy idea that should never come up. Again, from my background as an Austrian economist and as a Christian, that's just man trying to play God in the pagan sense of the word. And I told you, Book of Exodus tells you very plainly, God's a jealous God. He ain't going to put up that stuff. And so they all failed, without question. They made monkeys out of people. All right. I conjured up this scenario a number of years ago, at least 30. Do you know who Neil Wartz is? B-O-O-R-T-Z. Again, I do know, I found out from you, you do know who Rush Limbaugh is.
Oh,
Talk show host. The original talk show host was Bortz, Neil Bortz. He goes back 34 years from now. He was on the radio for over 30 years. Atlanta, Georgia. Now, the show was built around Neil Bortz, the principal. His sidekick was Royal Marshall. a black guy in his late, or early 30s, I guess it was, early 30s. There was a lady, her name was Belinda. She was the producer of the show. Now, you've seen all the three. They were the show. I emailed this scenario to Neil 3 times before he finally did something about it. Now, don't pick on him. Talk show hosts like this get thousands of emails per day. But he finally got around to it one time, and by the grace of God, I was listening. Now, talking about luck, wow. He did not use my name. You don't do that on a talk show like this. But I could easily recognize it. Are you ready for it? You ready?
Yeah.
Brush yourself. 3 guys were born the same day. One was Caucasian. One was Hispanic. One was black. They all had similar jobs during their entire lifetime. They all paid maximum into Social Security. They all achieved retirement age. They all drew their first check from retirement proceeds. Would you believe it? The next month, the black guy died. Are you aware that black guys do not live as long as Hispanics and white guys? And you know those Japanese guys outlive us white guys almost 10 years? And you know you can pass all the laws you want to. You can't change that fact. This is not a function of man's laws. Man's not running things the way he thinks he is. Well, would you believe it, Bob? The next month the black guy's widow dies. How many times have y'all seen one spouse die, the survivor dies shortly thereafter? You were talking about Westchester County there a while ago, Mark. I was doing a seminar there years ago in Westchester. And when we got to this point, I was talking about the black guy dying and his widow dying shortly thereafter. And one of the guys spoke up and said, well, look, let me tell you about something that happened in this little village close by. He said the widow was at the funeral home shopping for a coffin from her husband who died the day before. Mark, she died at the funeral home.
Struck dead, didn't she?
Yeah, got a 2-for-1 deal.
Cheap.
What happened to all the money the black guy paid to Social Security? Please tell me.
The government kept it.
No, it never existed.
It never existed.
It never existed. Did you know that? You live in the USA. You live in the USA. Do you know when you make payments, I didn't say contributions. They call it contributions. See, they changed the meaning word. Confiscation, I'll go along with. But they changed the meaning word. They call it contributions to Social Security. The check does not go to Social Security. Did you know that?
Yes.
That's part of the
Huh?
operating budget of the government.
It goes to the U.S. Treasury. Steve,
And then they just
the money is spent immediately. Worthless IOUs are put in a file in a cave in West Virginia. Say, we're going to collect it from you young guys. Welcome to the world. There's no way they can work.
Scary.
Is this digestion?
But it's not money, it's a number.
It's a number. That's all. It's a line number at that. That's all.
It's an unfunded liability.
But people believe that. And here's the thing, Tyler, I'm not picking on you guys in the home office. I love you.
We love you too.
Oh,
Believe me.
he's working his way down the deed.
Believe me. But here's Mutual Trust in Chicago. They always give me a copy of their magazine monthly. Vanguard.
Right.
I had a fit of rage here just a few days ago. Here's an agent that writes an article in their magazine explaining that Social Security is just another retirement plan. Like an insurance plan, he said. That guy is dangerous. How you giving financial advice? If we caught one guy doing that, he wouldn't be part of NNI. He'd get all his money back. That's how this nonsense, this is how this noise proliferates out there. All right, back to the story. Would you believe it? The next month, the Hispanic guy dies, Nate. And the next month, the next month, the Pedro's widow dies.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the money Pedro paid in?
Never was there anyway.
Same thing. Well, I was so proud of old Neil Boyce. He had an element to it, Kevin, that I hadn't thought of. He turns to his black compadre and he said, Robert, do you know, under the system we got going on in the USA today, the money you are paying into Social Security is going to prolong the system a few more years for the benefit of that little blue-haired white lady. It's true. Royal went ballistic, and rightly so. Now, tell me that these guys like Bismarck and FDR and whoever, do you think they thought of this possibility? But yet they come up with these grandiose ideas that they can't possibly work. And you just stand there and take it. Who's the fool? Them or you? Be honest.
So I guess you didn't like Bernie Sanders' big ideas, eh?
How did you know?
I didn't see you hold the vote for Bernie signs when I came in.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
right.
bad jokes, bad jokes.
Yeah. Well, that's the sort of thing that goes on out there in this world. But again, you'll see with illustrations and so forth that you can preclude all this stuff by seceding from the system. Just simply don't play their game. Contract with other free people with great life insurance companies, and you, in this horrible environment, you could care less. But you can't do it thinking the way they think and listening to them. All right. Where and when did the idea of insurance begin, Will? I didn't say life insurance. Where and when did the idea of insurance begin?
Lloyd's of London.
Yeah.
Yeah, a coffee shop in London, England, about 400 years ago.
Actually, earlier than that, the
I've heard that, so fill it in.
Roman soldiers
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the Romans.
Yeah.
had a mutual company where they funded it ahead of time. They kept the funds separate until one of them passed away, and then they had a big celebration.
Yeah, but the general idea of insurance was property insurance. The general idea, as we know it today, was a coffee shop in London, England called Lloyd's.
Yeah.
Businessmen sitting there drinking coffee day in, day out. It overlooked the harbor. Saw ships coming and going. The high seas is a treacherous place. The loss of the ship and the cargo was a tragedy to the owners thereof. Businessmen had to put an idea. Curtis, you're one of the guys at the coffee shop. Mark, you're one of them. Richard, you're one of them, okay? You've been plotting the going and coming of these ships. You developed tables of probability whether the ship is going to make it back or not, right?
Sounds like something I'd do.
Yeah. Yeah. I figured you're that kind.
Is that analysis paralysis, Richard, or what?
Yeah. I'm desperate for something to do. Okay. Now, you knew the value of the cargo, Mark. You knew the value of the ship, Curtis. The owners told you. You did a little third grade arithmetic with these probabilities, and you came up with a premium. Now you put a margin of profit that you expect to earn, and then that fudge factor, JIC, just in case you were wrong. A little bit of fudge factor. You charge a premium. Ship made it to a destination. What happened?
Got to keep the money in the kitty.
Yeah, deal's over. Deal's over. The bargain was for the duration of that voyage. Now, term insurance. Term insurance. Okay, ship didn't make it. What happens?
Gotta pay some money.
Y'all gotta come up with how much, okay? Term insurance. All other forms of insurance that we know out there today is term insurance. If something happens during the time frame. Now, if you study the archives of life insurance, you can find out that life insurance companies did not invent the idea of whole life insurance. Consumers did. Ralph Nader didn't invent consumerism, good Lord. Consumerism's always been there. Consumers, in effect, said, you guys don't have a duck and duck comparison. All these other things, if something happens, life is not if, it's when. Cut that out. Now, in response, okay, we forgot something here. When life expectancy was only 50 years old, we'd say, something like that, you got to take that pattern in which people die and squish it down like so. But the pattern remains the same just over that period of time. Now, we got 121 years in USA now. You just stretch it out. But the pattern remains the same over that period of time. Well, if you can, in your mind, blank out these numbers here, just look at the pattern. Now, let's say back there when life insurance first came along, and it was term insurance. Let's say a guy was right along in here, and he wanted to buy life insurance, term insurance. Passed the physical, paid a premium, didn't die. Deal's over. You want to be insured next year? Got to pass physical. Got to pay a higher premium because this is probably going to be the year compared with last year. The premium got higher and higher. He quit. Shortly thereafter, he died. Now that does not take a rocket scientist to figure out that was a ripoff. The life insurance company says, well, you know, if we collect about 6 times as much premium as term insurance, put it to work in those places I showed you a while ago, that'll provide a level of premium all the way through here, and it'll pay a death benefit no matter when the guy dies. And of all things, they named it whole life insurance. I submit as a forester, that is a gross misclassification of a product. You see, in forestry school, we had all kind of courses in classification. Dendrology, study of classification of trees. It lasted all year long. There were at least 6 other courses that involved classification. You learn that you classify things on the basis of the major characteristics, not incidentals. Got that? Mm-hmm. Major characteristics. Any of you ever taken an apple sitting on its bottom, stems up here, and they cut that apple in half in the equator? Y'all ever done that? Mm-hmm. Now, when you did that, Tyler, what did you see in the middle?
Star.
Why? Do you know?
It's where the core is.
Yeah.
Core.
Yeah, but do you know what else? Why?
It's a rose.
It's a rose family. Everything in the rose family has 5 petals, 5 pistils, 5 stamens in the flower, or multiples thereof. That's what made it a rose. Get your hardwoods in North American manual, it's going to be about this thick. That much is a rose family. Biggest one in there. Every one of them have that characteristic. You see, that's in the reproductive system of the plant family. Well, isn't that a good place to start classifying things? You ladies are different from us men. Have y'all noticed that?
If you have it, we
My
have it.
goodness.
Make a lot of difference. But isn't that a good place to start classifying? But you know, I learned down in California now, when you're applying for a job, applying for anything, and you have to fill out that paperwork, name, rank, serial number, whatever, instead of male and female, they have 5 boxes you can choose from now.
Sad as it is.
Can you believe that?
Hey, listen,
Well, somebody.
we just added a 3rd box in ours, so.
Okay.
So it's like,
Somebody looked up on the internet here, seminar not too long ago, and said there's something like 46 different categories out there now. That didn't make you feel proud to be alive. Okay, where were we? Yeah. All right, now, Stephen, when they collected much more premium and put it to work in those places I showed you, didn't that take upon itself much more characteristics of a banking system than it did insurance?
Sure.
I rest my case. If they gave me the job of naming this new product correctly, I'd call it a personal monetary system with a death benefit thrown in on the side just for the heck of it. I demonstrated. Yeah, we'd have to have an acronym, wouldn't we? Okay. Huh? In every illustration in my book, you notice I provide income at age 65 or 70 or whatever. And in every one of them, I demonstrate that the death benefit at age 65 or 70 is the same thing at age 85, although you had all that income. Does Dave Ramsey know this? Yeah. Yeah. What a world we have. Does this make sense to you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All my life insurance life, I keep hearing this word retirement. Okay? Everybody wants to talk about retirement plans and so forth, right? Crucial investment information, retirement plans compared. If you purchased $1,000 worth of Nortel stock 1 year ago, now it'd be worth $49.
and that slide's old. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yep. If you bought Enron stock, you'd have $16 and a half left. If you'd bought WorldCom, you'd have $5 left. If you purchased Delta Airlines stock, you'd have $49. Do you know what Delta stands for?
Didn't even leave the airport.
Doesn't even leave the airport, yeah. Others say, don't expect luggage to arrive. But if you bought Untied Airlines, you'd have nothing left. Yeah, but if you'd purchased $1,000 worth of beer 1 year ago, drank all the beer, turned your can into recycling, you'd have $214. So, based on the above, the best current investment advice: drink heavily and recycle.
I'll do that.